back up. Now, breakfast is at 7 a.m., but don't get too excited because it's really the last meal. That's the best. Okay. So if you need anything else, room service, you just let us know.
Think he's a suicide risk?
One can only hope.
State of the art. This is it, huh? I guess it's better than being in population. I was expecting to be alone. That's usually what solitary means. Your sentence end with your heart stopping too? I'm sorry. If I had it my way, I'd have him do it tonight, I swear. Hey, I'm Daniel. Amos. Maybe you heard of me. If you've been in here long enough, maybe you haven't. Hey, can you hear me, man? Hey, pal. Hey, hello? You gotta be kidding me. This is solitary. You didn't put me in jail with a deaf man for my last week, and it's a mute I can't even talk to?
Great, another talker.
Turn it down.
That's not cool at all, fellas. Hey, yo, Buddha. Hey, man, that yoga business ain't gonna help you no more, man. Come on, that's a bigger waste of time for guys like us than doing push-ups. Come on, in the end, what's it really matter, right? Man, you're gonna make me crazier than if you wasn't here at all. Hey, man, I'm talking to you.
Lights out.
Hey, brother. You scared? I am. You're still at it, huh? Let me guess. You don't sleep. You don't talk. You're just there. So this is how it's gonna be, huh? Sitting here, counting down the hours, the minutes, the seconds. It's torture. The heartbeat thumping in my ears is the only way I can keep time in a place like this. 60 beats a minute. As I get closer to the day, it'll be like speeding up time. 80 beats a minute, 100, 200, until eventually, that's it. Time runs out. Hey, buddy, you know what time it is? Not that it matters, but It matters. Can you at least look at me? You can do that much, friend. Please? Come on, please, man. Don't do this. Just talk to me. Hey. Come on, I don't ask for much. Just talk to me, please. I need you.
Both your names are biblical. Did you know that? I'm guessing a felon like you didn't. Name Daniel translates to God as my judge. Amos means bearer of burden. It's a little ironic, don't you think? Man sentenced to prison and death. Almost like it was your destiny.
Oh, I get it. This meditation helps you forget about what's gonna happen, huh?
What can I say? The only one that could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man.
Nice tats. You must have gone through something pretty profound to take on ink like that.
I got these the first time I was put away.
What are you? You some kind of Bible thumper that found his way to Jesus behind bars? Pretty cliche, don't you think? But those tattoos last forever. Just like the mark we all leave on this world, no matter how stupid or ugly.
What's your story? Where's your mark? You a little young to spend time in Auschwitz.
No, that's an old girlfriend's phone number.
Let the one with understanding calculate the number of the beast, for that is the number of a man, and his number is area code 4409441. I can't read the rest if you cover it up.
You're funny, man. You know, you quote the Bible like a kid I used to know. Except he didn't know nothing about the Bible. But he could tell you every episode of Star Trek word for word.
Well, if you're expecting to get beamed up out of here and get yourself off the hook, I got some bad news for you, Sunshine.
Yeah, I know the rap. What's your name?
People in here just call me Fish.
You knew too. I guess this is the last stop for the lot of us. Halfway house to hell, huh? Well, it's gonna be over soon. At least we don't have to spend 60 years sitting here like some lowlifes have to.
Man, there are 18 states that don't have the death penalty. I could have told you this was a dumb place to commit a crime.
Yeah, thanks, Your Eminence. Where was you when I was about to down 11 people?
Same place as I am now.
Right. Now what?
Slept through breakfast. Had a lot of sleeping happens back here now.
Well, well, well. Sleeping Beauty. Finally awake. You know, when I see a perp sleep as silently as I just watched you sleep, I just know he's guilty. You know why? I think this place gives you a sense of relief. Now, an innocent man. Oh, I watch him sleep. He tosses and turns all night long. He fidgets. Why? Because he's wondering why they're gonna kill him for something he didn't do.
Yeah, I had my time to come to terms with what happened out there.
Really? I would think that that would give you nightmares. Somebody's signing in for you now.
Who?
The only person allowed to visit you back here.
What, my attorney?
Who do you think? Your eggs are getting cold.
Hey. You want seconds?
I'll pass.
So, Fish, you got a date for when you, check out?
No date. Just an eternity of waiting to see how this all turns out.
Yeah.
My time in court was nothing short of swift justice. Got me in here on death row. For my protection, of course. Keeping me safe while they're waiting to kill me. It's like a Three Stooges bid. Man, a lot of people want me dead. Why they got you in the hole?
'Cause they think I'm dangerous.
Are you? Yeah. Everyone in the cage is an animal.
I'll let you know when I need you.
I didn't expect to see you so soon. You got news on my appeal?
I'm still waiting to see if they accept it. Listen, in the event that this doesn't go your way, there's an issue with your execution that my firm thinks that you need to know about.
What's to know? I get a shot, I go to sleep, and I never wake up.
Well, it isn't like putting down a horse. You might want to sit down for this. Back in January of 2011, the State Department of Criminal Justice, they changed the drugs they used for lethal injections. They changed it from sodium thiopental to pentobarbital. Now, unfortunately, the pharmaceutical company that manufactures this pentobarbital, their distributors are telling them they're going to deny the drug to any U.S. prisons who carry out the death penalty using lethal injection. At the same time, the state, they've run out of this pentobarbital.
Meaning?
Meaning the injection formula that you're going to get is a combination of midazolam and hydromorphone.
And this matters to me, why?
It matters because the last guy they put down with this cocktail took him 25 minutes to die. The effect on the body of this combination of drugs, it's controversial and potentially cruel. 25 minutes can be an eternity. My firm believes that's the equivalent of human experimentation.
This is what they're gonna use on me?
Till it's reversed by the courts, yeah.
And that's not gonna happen before my time comes.
It could take years to repeal. That's right.
So you're not here to help me. You're just here to let me know what to expect when that happens?
It's our obligation to let you know.
Yeah, I'd rather you didn't.
By law, if there's anything you want to ask me, anything you need, whether it's help filling out your last will and testament or get you spiritual counsel, they have to accommodate. Is there anything you need? You all right?
It's just peachy.
I really am sorry about this. I'll let you know how the appeal goes.
Hey, wait. Think if I wanted to look up some of this information, I could get internet access back here?
Internet in here? No. Well, sometimes they allow inmates to have some limited computer access for communicating with their relatives through email, but going online, that is, surfing the web, that's prohibited in just about every prison, both state and federal.
Just about?
They don't want inmates carrying on illegal activities inside these walls.
Look, I might be dead by your next bowling night. What possible harm could I cause by looking up some medical information?
I will ask. I'll see what they can do. I mean, what harm can I do, right? I can't guarantee anything. All right? But in your case, maybe they'll make an exception because of all this.
Please, try.
I will. If I do, you know that you're going to be monitored 24/7. You're going to have very limited access.
Yeah, I get it. I'm only concerned about my final moments. I've accepted my sentence. That's what it comes down to. I just need to know how to make it go smoother.
I get it. May God have mercy on you.
May God have mercy on you. If
God had mercy on you, wouldn't you be outside these walls right now?
I don't believe in none of that. Either way. I'm here because of my own doing.
Yeah, but didn't you say right now is the time to find Christ behind bars? Or what'd you say earlier? Cliche? You just live a criminal life right up until the moment you get caught, and then you find Jesus to save your soul.
Man, I can't save nothing right now, man. The ball's in his court now. For real. There's not gonna be no parole. The governor hates me. Ain't gonna be no last minute phone call. Ain't nobody outside these walls championing for my life. Except for my court-appointed shark. I just gotta know it's gonna end smoothly.
You know, there's a lot of girls out there that love them some convicts. You might want to find one and see if she'll protest your sentence.
Any weirdo outside of here looking for a friend on death row needs help themselves.
This coming from a guy looking for a friend on death row. You know, a lot of people in here before us took matters into their own hands to avoid their sentence.
What you talking about?
What do I mean? I mean there's more than one way to get beamed up off this planet.
Man, I'm not hanging myself. That's what you mean?
I'm not saying you should do it.
That's not who I am.
No? You're afraid you're gonna go to hell if you kill yourself.
Yeah, if you believe in hell, you gotta believe in heaven, right? You believe in heaven, then you gotta believe in God, right? I don't believe in anything.
I believe you. Come on, man. Don't look so glum. You know there's states that still have hangings. Firing squads, gas chambers, they still have the electric chair, man. I'd say a shot in the arm's getting off pretty easy.
I just wasted my life.
Man, wasting your life, that assumes you were here for some greater purpose. There's people who believe that we're lucky to even be here. The fact that you were born with a heartbeat is a damn miracle. Yeah, hell, science teaches us that every living thing on this earth is only here by a highly unlikely set of coincidences and accidents.
I wasn't put on this planet to die in prison.
Put on this planet, that assumes there's some greater power. No, the more prevailing thought these days is one of happenstance. A series of cosmic anomalies that created life, became man.
Says the guy who bears the symbol of a man who preached just the opposite. You know, earlier I said you must have gone through something pretty profound to take on ink like that. You must have gone through something far worse to go against it.
You got me all figured out, don't you, friend?
Hey, superstar. Front and center. Your mouthpiece. You talked me into allowing internet back here.
Who are you?
Warden Dallas. This is my castle you're living in. You'll be allowed 1 battery charge a day. Make it count.
Thank you. Why?
I reviewed your jacket. I've witnessed far more sinister men leave my gates when they've done their time. The reason they got back into society is because it was their ruling. You won't.
You know I'm waiting for an appeal, right?
All these years, I've never seen a man slip away from a death sentence. Pray. Miracle. My figure, a little distraction might make your final week a little less taxing. Now, you'll be limited to the links you can access. Now, we're going to monitor every search engine you go on to through the main computer in the guard room. So, superstar, keep it clean. My boys around here don't need any more distractions. Seek. You shall find.
Hey, superstar. What could you possibly find on that thing that'll help you cross over without incident?
I don't know. Maybe if I'm on an empty stomach or something, it'll take quicker. I don't know. That's why I'm looking. I just want to see what the last guy did and do the opposite. Wait, what do you mean? You said crossing over. If you're a non-believer, where would I be crossing over to?
It's just an expression.
You really believe that we're all here just by an accident?
Well, what do you think? If there is a God, or in fact, a son of God, why is there so much bad stuff happening to good people? Why would he let his son be executed? Having all the power in the world, except the will to act upon it.
What were the names of the drugs that they used for the lethal injection?
Don't ask me. You're the one with the ability to find the truth.
I'll bet you $10 that he types escape from jail in that search engine within the first 2 minutes.
I'll take that bet.
Yeah? All right. Get the money ready.
Wasting your time.
This connection is blocking the exact stuff I'm trying to look up.
Man, if it takes 6 minutes to die or 6 hours in the end, what's it really matter? When you exist on this earth, death does not. When death exists, you do not.
What's the point if I can't even use the damn thing?
Well, I can't imagine why they wouldn't want a convicted murderer to have access to stuff that kills people.
What'd you say?
Oh, nothing important. Just why worry? What's it matter? Name me one thing in your life that got better because you worried about it.
You're so sure that nothing's after this life, huh?
Well, do you see evidence to prove me otherwise?
Yeah, I'm looking at you. You must have believed in eternal life at some point.
That's, before I realized the Jesus Christ myth was based on Hercules.
Hercules?
Or more specifically, Dionysus, Adonis, Osiris, Attis.
Who?
They're all godlike figures of Greek mythology. They all predate Jesus of Nazareth, they all have a resurrection story, and they all died excruciating pain, man.
Never heard that before.
That's just an old story rehashed, handed down through antiquity. Time again.
If everybody knows that, then why is it not common knowledge?
Because most people only hear what they want to hear. I was like you once, searching for answers. But now, thankfully, I know the truth.
Truth is, you're just a guy on death row whose preacher man father forced his faith on you. A lot of good that did you.
Hey, don't take my word for it. Look it up for yourself, Einstein. I'm sure the Bible and Greek mythology ain't gonna be blocked off to some knucklehead who's gonna take the deep six. It's either that or going back to staring at a blank page or a blank wall.
Why should I care either way?
It depends. You want to just believe that that's the end when you die? Or do you want to believe in some fantastical, beautiful salvation everlasting? And all you have to do is hit your knees and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I thought they didn't let criminals in heaven anyway.
Well, there's always the penitent thief.
Did you say something?
Your theory was wrong.
What theory?
Greek mythology. Couldn't have served as the inspiration for the resurrection of Jesus.
And why is that? Greek gods like Adonis were way before Jesus' time.
Yeah, but what if I'm reading was accurate? There are only 4 accounts that Adonis was raised from the dead. The earliest being from the 2nd century AD. Looks like you had it backwards.
Why don't you look up Attis?
Yeah, I already did. It says here, the earliest evidence on that isn't found until the 3rd century AD.
Well then, Osiris, as a religion, that definitely predates Christianity.
But there's no resurrection in that story.
That's because you're only referencing the written material. Before writing, we had mythic images found on ancient reliefs and pottery. These stories were all handed down by word of mouth.
Yeah, but there's no evidence of a resurrected God to have influenced the story of Jesus before the 2nd century. That's a couple hundred years too late.
What you're reading is wrong. If the story of Christ were true, wouldn't everyone recognize it?
Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I don't have no 3-headed dog in this fight.
Why is there so much found on the internet and so little of it true? Every theory a distraction. It's just like the Shroud of Turin. Just another old relic used to sustain a belief.
You so sure you heard the right info that made you lose your way? Maybe what you believe is wrong.
It wasn't what I found about history. It's what happened to me that made me who I am today.
What happened? Where did it all go wrong?
I woke up one day and I saw the world as it truly was. That's what happened. You see, the world these days, it thrives on one lie told after another.
Yeah, if truth and honesty were easy, would either of us be here? Who cares anyway?
It's funny, isn't it? Something small as a little old bird. Just flap his wings, fly on out of here.
Yeah, but I wouldn't give to have wings, man.
You were talking in your sleep last night. Didn't sound good either.
Just reliving my past, I guess.
Sounded like regret to me. What happened out there, man? Come on.
I got greedy.
That happens to all of us, man.
I wasn't a total loser either. Man, I had a job. I was working at a senior care facility. I was, mopping floors and changing sheets. Watching people reach the end of their days. It didn't pay much, but it was something.
But the jobs usually don't.
You don't know how many times I saw folks file in there only to die and leave behind things that they cherished. They'd have wedding rings and retirement watches and money.
You didn't take those poor people's money, did you?
It wasn't like anybody was gonna miss it. And the real crime would have been just to let it sit there, right?
Yeah.
Man, don't look at me like that. It's not like I took the medication. I could have took that and sold it, but I didn't. I knew people needed that to live, so I'm not a maniac.
And they don't put you on death row for swapping rings and watches.
They do for taking lives. I started a fire just to distract the night guard, so I could get like 4 or 5 minutes just to get in and get out. And the fire got out of control. Before I knew it, the place went up like a tinderbox. The night shift was completely overwhelmed. They couldn't get everybody out in time, so 11 people died. Three from the smoke and the rest just got... But I got the gold. I'm saying, man, there ain't nobody outside this wall fighting for me.
Man, that sounds all accidental. They putting you down for that.
Man, I ran. I could have gone in and helped some people. I could have gone and saved some lives. But I didn't. I'll never get that back. What do you think that guard right there would do if I just started climbing this fence right now?
I think he'd take your guilt away. One round at a time! You're not gonna do it, are you?
No, that'd be stupid as what I did to get in here. No, I think there's something I still need to do before this is all over.
Oh yeah, like what?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Time's up.
Hey, let's try the Turing thing. I looked it up. I think that's real. This thing, right? The supposed burial cloth of Jesus?
Yep. Just another memento to give people hope. They declared that a medieval forgery. Said some artist painted that.
Actually, they didn't. In the 70s, they tested it. They said there were no signs of any type of ink, paint, or dye. Just an image faded slightly into the top fibers. Said that to this day, they don't know how it got there.
You said no paint?
No, just blood. Male, human blood.
There were people carbon dated this thing in the 1980s. They said it was no older than 700 years. That would make it a fake!
Says here, it was the outside corner that they carbon tested. It was a medieval repair woven into the edge. Expert says it was that patchwork that they tested.
Wait, experts, you can't rely on someone's opinion. This is an artifact that a lot of people hang their religious beliefs on. Man, I'm gonna need some scientific facts before I believe that it's older. Or that it's real.
Yeah, check this out. The Hungarian Pray manuscript.
Wait, a Hungarian what?
This is a picture of what Jesus actually looked like in the shroud.
So?
Look at these pictures. The one on the right is the real shroud, and on the left is a drawing. And the holes match. Whoever drew this must have seen the real Shroud of Turin.
And?
These marks are holes found in the real shroud. This is a picture of the real Shroud of Turin.
Man, what's your point?
My point is, the Pray manuscript is from 1191. That's way older than the carbon dating.
All right, so the dating was a bit off.
Check this out. In the gospel, there were two cloths linked to his death. The shroud and the facial cloth, which they wrapped around his face after they took him off the cross. They call it the Sudarium of Oviedo. Look, you can see it's much bloodier.
Man, what's that have to do with the shroud?
Look when you overlay them. It lines up like a fingerprint, man. Blood patterns on the shroud and face match. Both of these were on the same face at the same time. This cloth has been in Oviedo, Spain since 616. That proves the carbon dating was off. Science got it wrong.
Man, I don't prove a thing. That's still 600 years after the man supposedly died.
Then there's this one last thing. The cloth from Turin, Italy, and the one from Oviedo, Spain, both contain traces of pollen in their fibers that are from a plant exclusive to Israel and found within a 50-mile radius of Jerusalem.
That does not make it fact. That does not associate it with the crucifixion of Christ. It could be anyone's shroud.
People didn't save the shrouds. What about the scourge marks and the blood on the forehead, hands, the feet, the wound on the side? That's unique to the Passion. If I had evidence of my innocence as strong as this, I wouldn't be in jail right now.
Well, the jury's still out on this one.
You don't find this at all interesting?
What?
That atheists keep arguing that this man that inspired a religion of more than 2 billion people is phony. And the more I keep looking into it, the more evidence I find that he's real.
You're finding Jesus behind bars. I told you.
No, it's not like that, but it occupies my mind. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting here staring at you, waiting to die.
I'll give you something to do then. Sherlock, since you're so good at looking up dates. Why don't you tell me why it took so long for somebody to write about Jesus? Earliest estimates say it's half a century later. Doesn't that strike you as a little bit odd? I mean, how reliable could that story be?
Relax, dude. I'm not here to argue with you. Maybe you should go do some yoga and lighten up.
Okay, superstar.
What is this?
Don't get excited. He's just here to check your blood pressure and take your temperature. Now, every inmate that has a ticket to ride, that's in his jacket.
Just want to prove you're alive.
Before you need to prove I'm dead.
Give me your right arm, please.
You a doctor?
I do work here for my elective medical residency.
You gonna be the one that... Yeah, I'm asking you a question. You gonna be the one?
Afraid not. Linen, please.
So who does that honor go to?
In some states, the guards do it. In others, it's the inmate's job.
No, you gotta be kidding. What do you mean? They don't have a doctor do it?
Doctors are subjected to censure. So some states are trying to train either inmates or guards to do it. You're lucky. You have no track marks, so it should be easier to find a vein.
Should I be worried about how long it's gonna take to die?
If you need to worry about anything, worry about waking up during the process.
What'd you say? Warden,
Seriously.
is he telling the truth? That can happen? You can wake up, that can happen? Warden! Well, you can wake up? Warden! Hey, man, I'm talking to you! Warden! What happens to my body after I die? Warden! Warden!
Man, waking up mid-execution. Whew, that is a brutal one.
Stop it.
Your body will end up state-owned graveyard somewhere.
What?
Either that or your ashes are gonna be spread into the weeds out back unceremoniously.
Shut up! I'm not talking to you right now!
You wanted to know? Oh, you wanted to know?
I didn't want to hear it from you.
No, you only want to hear that everything's gonna be alright.
I don't know what I want to hear.
No, I'll tell you what you want to hear. You want to hear it after you die, you gonna get a clean slate. Become the spirit you were meant to be, right? Most people nowadays, they accept there's nothing after this. Heaven, paradise, whatever you want to call it. It's being discredited as a man-made invention to keep people on the straight and narrow.
Please.
I mean, hell, if the population wasn't scared to death of going to hell, the whole world would be in prison right now, wouldn't it?
It's enough. That's
Wouldn't
enough.
it?
Oh.
You know you were wrong, right? You were mentioning how late it was that people started recording the life of Jesus.
This again?
It wasn't as late as you think. These scholars say that these stories started to show up.
Not stories. The Gospels.
Yeah, those. They said that popular belief is that they were written decades later, like 40 to 60 years after, by this guy named Mark, for one. But it seems like he was just passing down what he heard from these other guys, like this guy named Paul. And Paul started to preach about the Christ like 25 years after the cross.
Oh, 25 years? Just a quarter century later.
And it seems that he had gotten what he learned from these other guys, Peter, John, and James.
John, James, stories change from each telling. Who knows where this came from? This could be about King Tut for all we know.
No, Paul preached. He said, I give you what I was given.
Meaning?
Meaning that he got the words directly from these other guys.
Not guys, apostles.
These guys were the first-hand account of Jesus. They knew him. They saw him rise from the dead. They say that the guy James, that's supposed to be Jesus' brother. I didn't even know he had a brother.
He had brothers and sisters.
Yeah, it's amazing. I never heard this stuff in detail before. They say now they can trace it back to 1 or 2 years after the cross. That's unbelievable. That's like 2,000 years. That's insane.
Yeah, but what they're talking about is a paranormal world. Miracles, death, resurrection. It reads like an ancient comic book. As a child, he was born of a virgin. Come on.
You believe in Alexander the Great?
Of course, he's a real man. No one disputes that.
And earliest accounts we have of Alexander say that he was born of a virgin mother and had a Greek god for a father. And we don't hear those stories until 300 or 450 years after his death. So how come it's okay to believe in one and not the other?
I know what you're doing. I see it. It's all good. You know that to avoid your fate, you have to believe in a miracle. You know that's the only way out of this situation you're in. Belief in miracle. Right?
Other people believe in miracles. How come I can't?
Oz! You're street smart. Deep down, you know it's all made up, right? Walking on water, raising the dead, making a blind man see water into wine. It's Harry Potter of his day, isn't it? Fewer and fewer people buy into this stuff anymore. The world's gotten too smart.
You mean too cynical?
Tomato, tomato. You just believe in the truth. Believing in a bunch of fairy tales won't do you any good, I can promise you that.
Hanging in there?
No, I'm not hanging in here.
You know what I meant. I see you got your laptop.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Helping you find some kind of peace.
It's definitely opening my mind. You here to give me some good news?
We'll see. I'm going to sit down with the judge tomorrow, hopefully, and try to make him see it our way. Get you another appeal.
That's something, right?
Yeah.
What?
There's a writer who wants to do an interview with you, do a story on somebody who might be facing their final days.
They need my permission before they let them back here?
That's part of it, but they also would like to interview me to get a A legal perspective. Now, I didn't say yes until you and I...
In other words, you want to get your face in the paper.
Well, that doesn't hurt to expand the brand. A little publicity never hurt, right?
Thoughtful of you to ask first.
Who knows, maybe one day they'll make a book about this thing.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll pick up a copy.
You're gonna be gone. He's gonna be collecting royalties off your death.
Yeah, the hits keep coming.
All right, look, I gotta go. Next time I show up here, hopefully I'll have a good word about that final appeal, huh?
Typical parasite.
It's ironic, isn't it? You gotta die to become the subject of a book.
Let me ask you something. Before the fire, were you ever a good thief?
Man, I couldn't steal my mama's heart. Ain't nothing for free.
Some things are. If you know where to look.
And that's the trick, isn't it? Knowing where to look.
That's too bad. What was it? Nothing. Nothing.
Hey, you awake? I need to ask you something.
It better be good.
You said there's no life after this world, right?
So say the masses.
But you can't prove that, can you? You know that there's people that have been there? They've seen it?
You found near-death experiences.
A lot of what they describe matches what I'm reading here in the Bible.
Oh, they can't prove it either. That's the trick of it all.
Then why did a study of hundreds of near-death cases, half of them saw themselves from outside their body, just before reaching the edge of heaven, only to be brought back before crossing over? It doesn't make sense.
People on drugs have had the same experience. I'm for sure they thought it was magic, too.
What about all the proven cases where people have died on the table, only to come back to describe things that they couldn't possibly know? Or the people blind since birth, that upon dying had visions of things they couldn't possibly have seen?
Books, my friend, books. Just like the money your attorney's gonna make off your wonderful story.
People write anything for a book if they think some sucker's willing to buy it.
I might believe that, but in order to get in that book club, you gotta die and come back. That's a pretty exclusive club.
You ever think that all this comes from a distressed mind?
Why do you keep doing that? Every time I raise the possibility of hope, you're there to drag me back down again. Look, just because you lost your faith doesn't mean you're right. What if there's something to all of this?
And what if there's not? Times have changed. People are losing their religion. Spirituality.
What's the difference?
If you believed that God holds you to a higher standard, as articulated in the Bible, well, then you're religious.
But if you believe those standards hinder your life, you might be spiritual. So you might pray to a cow as opposed to an invisible man in the sky. And that difference is why people turn away from God all the time.
I just thought that if no one had an answer one way or another by now, then it'd never be solved. So why question it?
That makes you agnostic. You just don't know what to believe.
Yeah, but now, looking through the eyes of a dead man, I don't know what to believe.
Make up your mind. You know the difference between fact and fiction. I don't want to see someone on the internet sway your opinion unless you can prove it to yourself.
Why do you even care?
Because I've been there. I know what it's like to believe in something, to have hope. To believe in the people that around you are true. Just. Only to have them disappoint and let you down time and time again. This prison's full of them.
You okay in interview?
Yeah.
You want me to stay?
Oh, it's okay, thank you.
Now don't get too close. And if you need anything, I'm right outside the door.
They didn't say you'd be a woman.
Is that a problem for you?
No. I just haven't seen one in a while. What would you like to know?
You look healthier than I thought you would. Do they take good care of you in here?
No better than the state pen.
Is that good or bad?
It isn't good. It isn't bad.
How's the food?
About what you'd expect. But you didn't come here to ask me questions that you already know the answer to. So go ahead.
All right. How do you feel knowing you're terminal?
There's a possibility that I'm not. I'm still waiting on an appeal.
So you don't think you deserve your sentence?
I didn't cause suffering for suffering's sake. It just happened that way.
It just happened. You should try telling that to the people who burned in their beds that it just happened.
Look, at my trial, I said I was sorry. I meant it.
And that makes it better?
What kind of interview is this?
Are you evil or are you sick in the head?
Evil is a choice. Sickness is the absence of choice. I ain't neither.
Do you have any idea the damage you've done to those families?
You got a question about life behind bars? Then ask it.
How do you feel knowing people are going to enjoy watching you die?
I guess it'll bring some closure to some people.
Closure. And that's supposed to make it okay.
That's not what I said. But if I die, then maybe that'll help ease the pain that I caused.
You know, 2014 was the worst year for capital punishment by lethal injection.
What?
Yeah, prisoners, they died terribly.
Yeah. I heard about a guy it took 25 minutes for him to die.
25 minutes? In Arizona, there was one guy who lasted from 1:57 until 4:39. He was gasping for air like a fish out of water over 600 times before his heart stopped. And this one guy in Oklahoma, he said that his whole body was burning. He was screaming.
Yeah, body burning, yeah, I know.
And there was another guy who they took his IV catheter and they shoved it so hard it went right through his vein and right into his groin. And they injected him into his soft tissue instead of his bloodstream. The guards tried to stop it, but they couldn't, and he was just writhing in agony for hours.
Why are you telling me this for?
Because my grandmother was one of your victims. And I just want you to burn in hell.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Guards! Yo, get out of here!
Get her out of there. Now, come on.
Guards!
Burn in hell.
Guards, come and get her!
Die.
Guards!
That's
This ain't no interview!
Burn in hell.
She's not a reporter!
It's not gonna be
What?
me.
She's crazy!
It's not.
Get out of here!
It's not. You're going to be in so much pain, you animal. I want you to know that.
Like I told you, people falter and disappoint time and time again.
Open 6, I got a stringer!
No, not on my watch. You idiot.
Gotcha. Why would you go and do something like this?
You know why.
Every one of you guys in here put a rope around your neck, you're gonna put us out of a job.
It's all about you, isn't it?
Just because you messed up your life doesn't mean I have to let you mess up mine. If I ever catch you trying something like that again, I'm gonna bust you.
That's enough. What are you doing? Daniel, you know this would never be the right way out. You know how I know that? These last few days, I've been looking at the same thing you've been looking at. I've been learning everything you've been learning. Now you know, you can't focus on this. Not this. You gotta think about what's next. It's better. Here. Get some sleep. Close 6.
Are you that anxious to have a near-death experience?
I wasn't aiming for near.
Well, I guess that's one way to look for God.
I thought you said there wasn't one.
Hence, look, not fine.
He's back at it.
you so delighted sitting over there?
I'm just looking at stuff.
What stuff?
Stuff about science that scientists don't want you to know.
Here we go again.
You know, science is defined as the systematic knowledge of the physical or material world gained through observation and experimentation. Observation, to observe.
Observation of what?
Just reading about natural selection.
Darwin! The man with all the answers.
It's interesting. You know, they call it the theory of evolution and not the fact of evolution.
Don't tell me you don't believe in evolution because you read somebody's opinion that the world started 10,000 years ago.
No, not at all. For just the same reason that you don't believe in evolution, because some catchy sitcom about the Big Bang explains it at the beginning of every show. I just find it odd that in school, it's taught as absolute fact. But more and more scientists today are having problems with it. Darwin himself had problems with his own conclusion.
What? Every thinking man accepts that life started from a single cell and then branched out like a tree to become all modern forms of animals that we see today.
Not every.
Don't tell me you don't believe in evolution.
Do certain fish lose their eyesight when adapting to a cave so dark they don't need to see? Of course. But for countless species to widely evolve with no common ancestor, that's a completely different thing altogether. You know about this? The Cambrian explosion?
Please, enlighten me.
Okay, according to Darwin, all the different life forms came by way of evolving from one common ancestor.
That's what we just discussed.
The issue Darwin found with the Cambrian explosion is that all these major differences in life forms appeared overnight in evolutionary terms. There's no fossil record to show that they descended from an immediate ancestor.
So, a laptop makes you an intellect now?
Look, for Darwin's theory to work, it would require new forms to evolve in tiny, gradual changes over long periods of time. Yeah, listen to this. If it could be demonstrated that any complex organism existed which could not possibly have been formed by numerous successive slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down. Those are Darwin's own words, man. A century after he wrote this, there's still no observable proof that true evolution ever occurred.
Oh, if you start talking about intelligent design, I am out of here.
Darwin knew about the gap. He was hoping that fossils would eventually show up to prove him right.
And?
They never did.
Well, maybe those early life forms are too soft or small to fossilize.
Then why do we have fossils of pre-Cambrian sponge embryos? Man, they're soft, they're small.
I don't know! I'm not a geologist!
Neither am I. But it's interesting that science found a gap in evolution, but you won't hear about that in science class.
Yeah, well, they don't have to go looking for the missing link. He's standing right in front of me.
I'm not standing here because of some undirected process. I'm beginning to think that we're here for a reason.
Yeah, we're in jail because of natural selection. A lethal injection prevents our descendants from doing the same. You see how that works?
But the two dominant life forms on this planet, plants and animals. Plants are here to offer food and oxygen for intelligent man. But intelligent man offers no benefit to those plants. It's like it was designed that way.
You are reaching.
Explain this to me. How do you get life from non-life? How can you just get something out of nothing?
I don't know! Maybe lightning struck a pile of ooze and some gas and whammo, we have life.
And with all we know about biology, chemistry, physics, we can't replicate that or prove that. We can't even account for the diversity between you and the Ebola virus, between a cactus and a butterfly. So how did all that come from one spark of life, Dr. Frankenstein? Why don't we have interspecies breeding? Alligators and crocodiles can, humans and apes can't.
Lions and tigers can, horses and donkeys too.
They share a common genus, but when they do, their offspring is sterile. Tell me that's not intentional. It's all just evolution. What started it? If it's just life trying to better itself through necessity, then why do we have free thought or the ability to love? What survival instinct drove us to appreciate Da Vinci or Mozart? What necessity forced us to improve and evolve and ask the question, why are we here? There is no reason. Unless someone put us here to ask. If our DNA is encoded like a computer, then who's the programmer?
I'm sorry. Is there anything I can do? I'm sorry.
Wait. Will you be there?
Would you like me to be?
Yeah. You did your best on my behalf, so it'd be nice to have at least one in my corner.
There will be.
It's a long shot, anyway.
Now what?
Now I pray.
I thought we talked about this, man. I thought you accepted that there is no one to pray to.
That's what you decided. I don't believe that to be true. You said something about us being here by a series of cosmic anomalies that created life and became man.
Yeah. Have you ever seen God?
No. But you can't see the air either. But when the wind blows on a grassy field, you know it's there. So maybe the mysteries of the universe are like that. Just God's fingerprints, hidden in plain sight.
That's your proof? That's what you're going on?
What's your proof that he's not there? Because some people find religion in a textbook instead of the Bible?
Are you saying that scientists aren't smart? Because there's some wise people on TV who know about the cosmos who might challenge you on that.
There's a difference between being smart and being wise. A smart man knows that a tomato is a fruit, but a wise man knows not to put a tomato into a fruit salad.
I know that every atom in my body, we're made up of stars. Everybody knows that. So that's the end of the story.
I didn't say they didn't, but who created the stars? Look, if you're gonna put everything into the hands of celebrity atheist scientists, then let me ask you something. There's 100 billion galaxies out there. Countless planets and stars. Next time you're in the yard, I want you to pick up a handful of dirt. Ask yourself, where did all that matter come from? Think of all the gases, all the dust. Imagine the water on our own planet alone. The power of our sun. Look, in 1 second, It produces more energy that keeps us alive than mankind has ever produced. And in our own Milky Way, there are stars that are 1,500 times the radius of our sun. So where did all that come from?
The Big Bang! 13 billion years ago.
Okay, but I'll say it again. Something doesn't come from nothing. What caused the Big Bang? If the universe didn't exist back then, it had no reason to exist at all.
So?
So for it to exist, something had to cause it to exist. What caused it to exist? If there's a reason for the Big Bang, then who was the Big Banger?
I don't know, maybe the universe created itself.
That's not observable science. Look, we know that the universe is expanding, that the galaxies are moving, that the earth is spinning around the sun, that the moon is traveling around the earth. Nothing moves without a reason. So what was the immovable object that started it all in motion?
You've been reading Thomas Aquinas, haven't you?
If something is caused, it had to be caused by something else. That's your science.
You're causing me to have a headache.
It's funny, huh? When it comes to the important questions, it takes as much faith to believe in a Darwin or a Big Bang as it does to believe in a creator.
Well. Ain't you precious? You found God in jail after all, didn't you?
It seems to be the most obvious, observable answer to all these questions. But you won't hear people about that in public school. But you might in prison.
So that's it. Made your decision?
Yeah. I found enough holes poked in the theories of non-believers that I have no other choice but to believe in God.
Well.
Clock. Just about done. Time on this earth's not eternal. I wish you'd see it.
You're right. But I now believe that in the end of time, when every bit of energy in the scientific universe has died out, as every living thing must do, when the last star fades and the light goes out forever, it'll be then that the echoing voices of every living thing that's ever been will ask the question, what was it all for? Why did something so great exist only to fade like a dying thought? Then what will the answer be? For the man whose sole belief is in science, there will be no answer. But for the man of faith, he already knows.
Here's a meal you ordered.
My last supper.
You know, most people request something special for their last meal.
I'm no different.
Get your cup. I thought this would go good with your last supper. Mum's word.
Thank you. Would you like some?
Today is the day. Today is the day of all days.
Scared.
Not as much as before.
I want to thank you.
What?
You know why.
Open 6.
How's that meal, son? You gotta put these on. You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
We have a spiritual advisor on site. Do you want to talk to him?
No. I think I found what I was looking for. Thanks to Fish.
It's time.
It is almost time. What? This is your face?
Only the face you needed to see.
Why didn't you just tell me? Why challenge me on everything?
Because no one could force you into it. You needed to find this on your own.
Why me?
Why not you?
The one question you asked, I never got an answer.
Why would God allow his son to be executed? Having all the power in the world, except the will to act upon it.
Yes.
You know the answer.
He did it for love. To pardon the sins of all mankind so that we may be forgiven and live again with the Lord.
Daniel, it's time.
Are there any last words you wish to say, son?
I'm sorry for everything. And I'm sorry I didn't see the promise sooner. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.
do it.
I thought this moment would be easier with another new believer. Thank you, Daniel.
Amen, I say unto you, today you will be with me in paradise.